Okay, let's get back to the show and talk about the consumers market. So we're still chasing the 30,000 new minimum wage around. Then some conversations around the stock market going down. A lot of burning issues for consumers. I'm just going to throw this straight to Bolanle Agbaje, a member of the economic think tank at Financial Derivatives this morning, to run us through this. Some a bit sweet, some not so sweet. So just be prepared. You got a long list. Good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, let's start from the sweet side. Well, sweet. Crude oil is sweet.
Yes.
Up 1.26%. I like that. $60.4, just at the doorstep of our budget proposal.
Yes,
for 2019.
Yeah, so what ticked it off a few days ago was the news with Goldman Sachs, like we mentioned. So it seems like now the production cuts are actually playing into the market. You know, we're seeing that, you know, increases in prices as a response to, you know, the cuts in production is actually beneficial for us. And a few inches up above our budget benchmark it's no need to smile just yet, because what does that really mean for us, you know, with our revenue, with our budget and all that. But we're expecting that oil prices will still, you know, keep increasing, but we don't expect it to increase to as much as $65 per barrel so soon.
Mm. Okay, what else is on this burning economic issue?
Yeah, so we have
Let's go to the big story. How? Let's just go to the big story. It's the minimum wage.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Well, obviously, FDC has been appointed, you know, the technical committee team, and the president has, you know, submitted this proposal to the National Assembly. So it seems like something good is coming out of this. But the good news as that now is the fact that we don't expect any industrial action at the moment. So right now it's a time where we're working on the numbers. You know, the team is technically for, as much as we're talking about the wage is technically for revenue optimization and fiscal consolidation. So those are the aspects that we're looking at when it comes to, you know, the revenue, or the budget rather, you know, to close the gap. Where is the government going to source for these funds from? And also I talked about the opportunity cost. You know, as much as they're trying to, you know, pay, you know, workers this 30,000 naira, they don't want to lose out on some important investment projects. You know, so those are some of the issues that...
So it's about looking at the budget a little bit all over again.
Yes.
And bringing government books of accounts to the table again.
Yes.
And say, look, can we look at all these numbers once again,
see
folks?
Where...
And perhaps we could just trim Bolson's parastatal budget by a few hundreds of millions, right?
Possibly.
Maybe. I'm just playing the devil's advocate. If I'm on the committee, I'm going to be looking at that. Maybe you guys just want to replace some cars which were just bought last year. Could you guys just use those cars for another 1 year? And then give us about this 100 million or 200 million from there, and we'll just put it aside. Find the money. But again, we need to find this minimum wage. We need to fund it, not just for 1 month, not for 1 year, but for 2 years, for 3 years.
Sustainable and efficient, you
again,
know,
so it goes beyond just streaming or trying to rebalance 2019 budget, really.
Exactly.
But we need to find a sustainable means of where this money comes from. So whatever happens to this administration, May 29 this year, whether the administration continues or not, whoever is there will have to deal with the new 30,000 minimum wage and has to find the money. Not because oil prices are going this way or that way. You need to find a sustainable way.
Exactly. And you get professionals to, you know, try and make that easy for you. So that's where we are now.
No, the government can always use professionals. That's why those the professionals seem to see more from the outside than from those who are the inside.
Exactly.
Well, let's hope if the professionals ask the government to trim their size a little bit, maybe tell Mr. President to reduce his tea or coffee from 3 times a day to twice a day. He's going to say, yes, Mr. Rwane and your team, I agree. Instead of 3 cups a day, I'm going to have 2 cups of tea per day. And that goes all the way to the National Assembly, too.
Yes.
Yeah, maybe there's something should happen there. So all of us should be prepared for this minimum wage.
So things are quite stable now. So we're happy about that. You know, it seems like when you tell people that it's in the works, things are being done, you know, they're more relaxed.
So good news is that at least things are going to be quiet for the elections, at least from the Labour side.
Yes.
They seem a little bit happy from what is in the news, that the bill is going to the National Assembly before the elections, and there's some finality expected to come out of that. Okay, so what else is there? External reserves is up. We're looking a little bit at par with South Africa. South Africa's numbers came out yesterday, 43.08 or so.
Which shouldn't be, because South Africa is much smaller than, Nigeria.
Yeah.
So, well, it's inching up a bit, but we're still, trying to, from the oil price perspective, we're still hopeful that, oil price keeps, moving in the right direction so that we can accumulate more of these reserves, which would end up, supporting the Naira, because the Naira has taken a beat in the past few days, both in the IE window and in the parallel market. So those are some of the issues that,
Is it any significant news that the World Bank talk about rejig the world's global economic outlook, and the outlook for Nigeria is just about 1%, or 0.1% between 2.1 to 2.2% for 2019?
Yeah, well, looking at demand on the streets, I'm sure they don't really care about, what the world global growth numbers are. But it's important to know this because it kind of determines how we are playing field within the global sphere. What's happening in some of these developed countries. We have a huge interaction with China. What's China doing? At the moment, China is trying to, create a situation where they're moving from an export-led economy to a more consumer, spending economy. So that means, closing their borders, by significant amounts, and also protecting themselves from this, trade drama from happening again, And also we have in the EU with the Brexit and the Italy debt crisis, and moving to the emerging markets, Nigeria, South Africa, you have elections coming up in some of these countries, and also the financial stress going on within these emerging markets. So those are some of the issues and the reasons why the world global forecast has been reduced. But within Nigeria, I know they're looking at the fact that our attempt at, diversifying the economy is working. So that's, although it's not significant, moving from about 2.1% to 2.2%, but it seems like, the government is actually making way with, what the economy is.
Okay, so if we look at what the goodies and the downers are, these two items are very important for consumers. The value of the Naira, this almost day by day gentle depreciation is coming early in the new year.
Yeah.
And that should concern anyone who's in that business, because the price of items on the shelf will be a major factor. Then you have December inflation. FDC is projecting a bit of a few notches higher.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, 11.3%. We're predicting it to move from 11.28 to 11.3%. Why? Because in December we saw, and which is typical for, the month of December, you see a hike in, most commodity prices, because technically demand, increases during that period. And we also saw a hike in FAC to by about 3%, which is huge, so increased spending, increased money in people's pockets, increased spending and all that. So that played into the inflation numbers. But as much as, inflation is moving into that direction of hiking again, but we don't expect the Monetary Policy Committee to, make any move as at now. So that's good news for now, in the fact that we don't expect that they increase rates or, make any rash decision times before the election. So,
January 21 and 22nd.
Yeah.
Just about a week or two down the line. Okay, so let's go to the marketplace. What's the survey showing as far as the items are concerned? Sometimes people are going to fill their pocket, because once you pay school fees, you also need to put some you need to put some things in the kitchen or the pantry.
Yeah, so most commodities have actually declined in price this January, but although we're seeing a hike in inflation, but at the same time, our prediction is that month-on-month inflation would actually decline from about 10% to 8%. Why? Because in the month of December, PMI rose to about 60, and when it comes to PMI, we're talking about the manufacturing sector, increase in production of some goods and all that. So as much as core inflation is increasing, we should see month-on-month, inflation declining, which is a better reflection of, month-on-month changes in prices. So that's the other aspect to it. But regarding, typical commodities like rice, tomatoes, we've seen general decline in some of all these commodities, decline in prices of some of these commodities.
So technically, if you push that up, you find that new yam is just about coming through, right?
Yes.
Okay, and of course, definitely that price will go up.
Yes.
Everybody would want it, because it's fresh, it's new. People want to taste it.
Yeah.
But the regular commodities...
But that's just seasonality of,
just a seasonality of it.
Playing into the price of those prices. So as much as, although there are other significant aspects of, that contribute to the hike in prices generally of commodities, which are the normal phenomenon in economics. You have factors that drive, the supply, which has to do with, seasonality, increase in production and all that.
I just don't understand why. I think last year the height we got about 900 per tuber of yam.
Yeah.
Last year, I don't know why a tuber of yam should cost 900 naira in the Federal Republic of Nigeria. I just don't get it, because a liter of petrol is 145. Excuse me. So a piece of yam gives me about how many liters of fuel?
In the places where yam is grown, we had the conflict and all the other noise, background noise that was affecting some of the supply of these products, which would feed into prices. And typically, when you have reduction in supply of some of these goods, it's typical for people to increase, or consumers within the sphere to expect a hike in the price of the particular product. But, right now, as much as most of the commodities are actually declining in prices, it's good news to, share at the moment.
Along with that sweet story, how long will it last? How long is it most likely to last?
Well,
the first quarter?
Well, let's see. Well, for the most of January, we don't expect any significant changes. Things are a bit stable now. Everyone is watching. I think the main news now is, who would win the elections and all that. And I think after that, then we see, things within the economy, stabilize and move in the direction that they're supposed to.
Yeah, because there'll be less noise on the street. Yes. Because once a winner emerges, everybody just go home.
Yeah.
Everybody has just go home. There's nothing else to do.
Yeah.
Just go back to your lives and fix things you need to fix and adjust to whatever is being done at the very top.
And also, with the elections comes more money in people's pockets, election spending and all that, which is some of the things that, they would also talk about with the, budget.
I'm not too sure about more money in people's pocket. I've never really looked whether I make more money during the election. Maybe by 2023, I'm gonna take care. But as everybody says, this election seems to be a dry election.
It is.
The first dry election.
But it's not necessarily dry. I feel like it's just relaxed in a way. We're not seeing a lot of pushback between the parties. Things are a bit mellow. They're mostly doing things the right way.
What causes all this is about money. If there's nothing to share, there's the money. Everybody just manage what they have.
Yeah.
So there's no friction, no noise.
Yeah.
Because there's no money.
But there's still time. Let's see what happens, 2 to 3 weeks.
No, it's not gonna. It ain't gonna happen.
It takes a day to change people's minds. So.
Really?
Yeah.
So there could be money.
Yeah.
Okay, I like that. Okay, let's hang it there for today.
Thank you.
I'm sure electoral spending is one big story for the central bank to watch in terms of money supply, currency in circulation, and inflation as well. So I'm sure the central bank is trying its best to. But it's not a good time at the stock market. You worried about it?
Well, not really. It's expected, before the elections, and also with the hike in interest rates, U.S. interest rates, we're not surprised that, most investors will move towards more safer assets. So that's just, the
I was so happy yesterday for my 30,000 reading on the index.
Yeah, first time in 20 months. So that's
2017.
Yeah, that's significant.
That's
We're hoping that this would end after the elections. We have time to.
Yeah, we'll have time to adjust after the elections. Thank you very much. Enjoy your day and the rest of the week. Bolanle Agbaje, a member of the economic think tank at Financial Derivatives Company.